Rachel Joseph here. Squash fear is my theme. The video clip recordings are healing journey progress. I've always been interested in healing the biblical way. I've suffered from 20 years of Parkinson's coming to including this year 2020, and I'm still looking forward to a complete recovery from Parkinson's like symptoms and return back to full-time work, full-time productivity, and dreaming again of new projects. And independent walking is my main issue. Come 7th of April 2020, I found 3 verses written down on my writing pad. I must have collected it previous week through messages. 3 stood out, and it's my journey with these 3 verses. The first verse is John 11:22. This is the portion where Martha meets Jesus after her brother died and was buried after 4 days. You got to understand this story behind it was that when he was alive and unwell, the sisters sent for Jesus to come and see Jesus' friend, hoping for a healing. Jesus decided in his wisdom to turn up 4 days late. So when he turns up 4 days late, Lazarus is already in the tomb. Martha goes to meet Jesus as she receives the news that Jesus is approaching her house. So the conversation is that portion there. So John 11:22, the phrase I kept sensing and hearing in my spirit was, even now, Rachel, even now, if you can believe me for your healing, you will see my glory. The second verse I had written down was 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 2. And that one I kept hearing in my spirit, the phrase, this is the time. This is the time. The actual portion reads, this is the time for salvation. Don't put it off. Get right with God. Look at the season now for us all. Worldwide COVID-19. So I'm glad I sorted out my right standing with Jesus long time ago in my youth at a conference in our local church. The third verse is Ecclesiastes chapter 3:11, and that phrase I heard was season. That whole chapter Ecclesiastes 3 is about season for death, season for being born, season for laughing, season for crying, season for mourning. So there's always a season for everything. So I put all 3 together on the 7th of April when I realized, it's got a theme running through it. Even now, if you can believe me for your healing, you will see my glory. This is the time. This is the season for my healing, is what I was sensing in my spirit, and I ran with it. So from 7th to the 12th was Easter, 12th of April was Easter Sunday, Resurrection Day. As Jesus indwells in my body.